Hey everyone, this is Alex and this is Abdul, and we're with Wilson Amplifiers, and we are opening a brand new Wilson Pro 70 Plus system. So I am going to open the box really quick. Okay, this is the actual amplifier itself. Let's see if I can open it.
Looks like.
You want it?
Yep.
All right. So what is this amplifier?
It's our Pro 70 Plus kit. Looks like it's a 50 ohm.
Okay.
It's got the end connectors. Comes with a power supply. Minimum 110 volt outlet is required.
Okay. And what is this for?
Typically your small commercial buildings or a large residential house would be suitable for this type of amp.
Yeah, so this booster, it boosts all cellular signals.
Correct.
So basically anything for any carrier
Yep.
on the market. So it's pretty good.
So your T-Mobile, Verizon, AT&T, and then Sprint has recently merged with T-Mobile, so it'll also boost that.
Cool. Look at this cable. This is pretty serious.
Nice.
What kind is that?
So this is it comes with a 75 ohm Wilson 400 kit or cable.
It's a 75 foot.
75
50
feet.
ohm.
50 ohm, correct. End connectors. Typically would use this for either your internal antenna run or your dome antenna run.
Here you go. 60 foot. So it's the same thing. That
So,
cable is exactly the same.
Correct. One's a 60, one's a 75.
So this one cable would attach here,
Correct.
right? And the other would attach there.
And they're labeled outside antenna. And then the other side is inside antenna.
So there are those two cables, but then there's this one.
All right, we'll get to this in a second.
And then I think that goes with this, right?
Correct. So it also does come with a lightning surge protector. And this is what's going to go in line between the outside antenna and the booster. The only thing that you're going to be needing to provide is the ground cable. And there's a little slot into it that, I don't know if you guys can see that. It's got a little hole. You would just run your ground cable to it, and then you would just crimp it down. And then you would use this to connect in between the lightning surge protector and the outside antenna port.
Yeah, and so that would, what does that do? Does that protect from
So anytime
lightning
you have
strikes?
any kind of like lightning strike, if it were to hit, because you know the outside antenna is going to be on the roof or the external part of the building. So like if you have any lightning in the area and it strikes this antenna, it's going to basically it's going to damage this thing before it hits the amp. So it's basically like for warranty purposes' sake.
Speaking of outside antennas, this is one.
All right.
Something
There's
else in
that.
here. Thank you.
So this is the external donor antenna. A couple of things. It may look like a basic little triangle, but this thing does a lot of work. It's got a good gain on it. I think it's a 10.5 dB max gain on this antenna. When you go to install this thing, there's a little arrow on there. I don't know if you guys can see that. That is the indication of where the antenna needs to face. So you always make sure that antenna is facing upwards. And if you look below that, you'll see two little holes at the bottom. Those are your weep holes. So if you have any kind of moisture buildup, since this antenna is going to be on the outside, it's going to allow that water to seep out of there.
So one thing that's important to note as I give Abdul our second antenna is that your kit contents may vary depending on which version of this kit you buy. So we have several versions, and there are also expansion kits that have multiple antennas. This is a Yagi antenna, and this is a panel antenna. So the kit here is the one that comes with those. There are ones that have omni antennas, there are ones with dome antennas. There are several different options.
Right.
So this is the...
So this particular antenna is called a wall panel antenna. And it does come with a little hinge that will allow you to basically mount onto like a vertical surface. So for purpose's sake, imagine this is like the vertical wall. You would just anchor this down with some drywall screws, and then this would actually catch on the back lip of this antenna and sit like that. And it will just sit like that on the wall, and it's going to propagate.
So what kind of wall would you put that on?
I mean, I always tell people, you know, the best height for this installation is eye level height. Anything above, I would say 6 to 8 feet is optimal for this. Anything higher, you probably want to consider another antenna. I think we offer the dome antenna as well.
Yeah.
So that would be like a ceiling type mount.
So one question we get a lot is whether or not you can expand this kit. And in order to do so, you need something like this. This is a splitter here. How does this work?
So, by the way, this doesn't come with the kit.
Yeah, this is a separate.
Okay. So you've got your input port, and then you have 2 ports that say 3 dB. Basically telling you that you're going to get 3 dBs of loss. So from the amp, you're basically going to have your run to you basically wherever you want your first antenna. Before you plug that antenna in, you basically want to come into this port right here and split off. So you basically have this going into, for example, your first run. And then from there, you would basically attach your antenna. And then you could run your second line to your second antenna.
Yeah, so you'd need a second length of cable.
Exactly.
And you need another line. Okay.
Yep.
So a little bit about this system. It's up to about 25,000 square feet, which means
with a good signal.
Yeah, with really good signals. So what we say is this is really good for like office spaces, homes, large homes. It's a very strong, powerful system. These cables are ideal for really long signal runs. So if you have a very large house or a very large commercial area and you're wanting to use this, this is the version to get. If you're doing a smaller installation, you probably don't need this 50 ohm system quite as much. The 75 ohm system would work. So can you think of anything else to say about it?
Another cool thing about this is if you look at it from appearance wise, you'll notice that it does have these, I guess you can call them shark fins. And this isn't just for aesthetic purposes, this is actually a very functional purpose for this amp. So sometimes you'll have applications where you'll mount this in an area where it may not be an IT closet where it's environmentally controlled. It may be a little hot. For example, there's some businesses that have attic spaces and you mount this thing, this will help allow cool the amp. So this is very beneficial in those type of applications. And you can expect the same thing with all the Wilson Pro kits.
That's really all there is to say about this. We hope that this was really informative for you guys and helps you figure out what you need for yours to get better signal.